Good morning. Thank you for joining in this morning mindfulness practice. Do you have a worthy goal? Something that you really desire, that speaks to your heart, that pulls at your heartstrings, that makes you feel connected to abundance, prosperity, love, joy. Take a deep breath in and think about what that would look like, what that would feel like. Napoleon Hill said, "Those who reach destinations promptly and definitely know what they want and generally get it. The leaders in every walk of life decide quickly and firmly. That is the major reason why they are leaders. The world has a habit of making room for the person whose words and actions show they know where they are going." Get clear in your mind of where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to live your life. Raymond Hollowell said, "Form clear and definite ideas regarding your convictions as to why you do what you do and why you think as you think. Such practice is like conducting a mental house cleaning." The practice of clear thinking tends to clarify the mind, tones up the facilities, sharpens the perceptions, and gives one a stronger and better grasp of the basic essentials for a larger and richer life. Do you want a larger life, a richer life, a life of more experiences, more fun, more love, more joy, more happiness, more of every good that you desire? You were meant for more. You're a spiritual being, and you've been given a body so that you can experience the world. And as you experience the world, you decide what you prefer. And instead of getting stuck and wallowing in self-pity and don't have what other people have, form clear and definite ideas of what a larger and richer life looks like for you. What would it mean to you to be living a life of purpose? Be so filled up with love and joy and the spirit of the divine that you're serving your family, your clients, your friends, your community from a place of fulfillment, bringing joy to those around you because you are so filled with joy and love and peace. Raymond Hollowell says, "Clear and exact thinking is a very great necessity. It is, in fact, a sure means to advancement on the material as well as the spiritual planes. A line of distinction, however, should be drawn between surface thought, that is ordinary, trivial, and commonplace thinking, and real thought, which is associated with the understanding of truth. Truth is deep thinking which arouses dormant powers, quickens the perceptions, and leads to the enlargement of the understanding. Ordinary thought is a passing phase of mental activity, while thinking truth governs the life of mankind. The shallow surface thought that we give to the ordinary duties and small things of daily life, that's not the thought that reforms our character, develops our mind, or changes our belief and our destiny. It is the positive, deep and penetrating thought that comes from profound and strong conviction born of a higher perception and a clearer realization of the truth. The surface idea is not the real thought. The inner convictions which control one's aims, desires, and motives constitute the real thought of the individual and wholly determine the course of the person's life and personal destiny. We've got so much chatter going on in our mind. It's like a noisy roommate telling us what we can't do, what we should do, what's bad, what's good, judging everything, and then automatically thinking the same thoughts and thinking that that's truth. But truth is law of vibrational energy, love, LOVE, law of vibrational energy. You know, we have 5 senses that we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But so do your pets, so do all the animals. They can see and smell and touch and hear. So what you're taking in from the outside world is just evidence of what's already happened, what you've already thought of, what you've already accomplished. If you're going to go beyond what you already have and do what you want to do and be more and have more and experience more life, you're going to have to start to use your 6 intellectual faculties. You're going to have to focus on the spiritual side of you in order to bring more of you to the surface. We see what we're looking for. That's the reticular activating system in your brain. What you see now in the outside world is confirmation of what you've been thinking and feeling and doing. And you're meant for more. You're here because you want to experience more life, more love, more happiness, more joy, more of every good that your heart desires. Let's do a little bit of a mental housekeeping. If you are in a place where you can close your eyes, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And let that go. Take another deep breath in. And let that go. I know that you have a fantasy in your mind. There's something that you desire. Maybe you've talked yourself out of it because you think it's too much, too big, too hard to get. But when you have it in your mind, that means it exists on the spiritual plane. It means it is possible. Let's take another deep breath in and imagine that fantasy was your reality. When you hold an image in your mind, that's like getting clear on a target, that's programming your inner guidance system. It's getting a clear picture of where you're going, what you want to accomplish, what you would love as you're bringing to mind the picture of what you want to do and be and have. You start changing the molecular structure. Everything is energy, and we live in a world of perpetual transmutation of energy. We get ideas and we take action. We receive messages from our higher self, our intuition. You might say God energy, universal mind, the creator. Bring to your mind a picture of what you desire. Maybe it's a place that you know exists. Maybe it's a beautiful beach, Hawaii, Santorini Island, Mexico, Alaska. It doesn't matter where it is, but you know it's a place, even though you're here now, the other place exists. So the fantasy that you hold in your mind of a beautiful image, visualizing what you want. It could be your business thriving and you have time to spend with your children, your spouse, your grandchildren, your hobbies. What does that free time, that leisure time, that enjoyment look like? Breathe deeply and get clear on a particular place that you want to be. Is it at the top of the leaderboard in your business? Is it on the front page of a magazine for being the richest person in the world? What are you going to do with all that money? Who are you going to bless with your wealth? Who are you going to share your time with? Get emotionally involved. And when you get emotionally involved, you're going to express that emotional involvement, and that's going to start to change your behavior. As your behavior changes, your physical results start to change. This picture that you have in your mind is a destination. It's a real place. It's somewhere that you want to go. And your mind is like a servo mechanism. We are goal seeking organisms. So get clear on what that picture looks like. Is it a beach in Hawaii? Is it the top of the leaderboard? Is it being quiet and peaceful and enjoying all the things that you've already worked so hard for. You have tremendous creative potential. Everything that you see around you was once an idea that was conceived in someone's imagination. Maybe your own imagination. The place that you live, the car that you're driving, the clothes that you're wearing. The artwork that you chose, the appliances and furniture and pictures, everything that surrounds you in your outside world. You chose, you decided, you picked it out, you put it into place. These are things that you did because you wanted them. The car you're driving was something that someone had an image, and they spent time thinking about it, drawing pictures, pretending what it would look like, what it would sound like, what it would feel like sitting in it and driving it. That was a fantasy in someone's mind, and then it was created in physical reality. The pictures on your walls were a fantasy. They were created in someone's mind and then created in reality. Airplanes, cell phones, can openers, the journal that you're writing in, they were all once a fantasy. You have tremendous creative potential. Get clear on a picture that you really desire. Is it a trip? Is it an experience? Is it feeling love, honesty, respect? What would you create if you could choose one thing that you really want to be living? You can use your imagination to see a picture in your mind and then bring in your conscious mind, your reasoning mind, your intellectual faculties, and start to build the idea more clearly. Let's grab a piece of paper and a pen and draw or write the image that you have in your mind that you're so in love with, it makes your heart jump. You're in love with it, but it scares you because it seems so big, so far away, maybe impossible at this time. Is it the amount of money? Is it the number of clients? Is it sharing your life with someone who loves and cherishes you? Is it traveling the world and experiencing a particular place or event? Write it down clearly so that if someone else looked at your goal, they would understand what you want to accomplish, where you want to go, what you want to be and do and have. Now, maybe at this point where you're starting from, the person that you are today, you're thinking, oh, that's impossible. That's too much. That'll take too long. But I want you to take into consideration there are two sources of reference that we have to go to, science and theology, with respect to human potential. And both science and theology clearly indicate you have infinite potential. What you wrote down on that piece of paper is a possibility. It's a potential. And because you saw it in your mind, you wrote it down on the paper, there's a probability that it could come into physical reality. But you must say, yes, yes, yes. That's what I want. That's what I would love. That's how I really want to be living. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Take a deep breath in and write down, what if? What if it was true? What if it could happen? What if it's not a fantasy, but I make it my goal? Am I willing to do whatever is required to cause this image in my mind to manifest into physical form in my real life? When you can say yes, then that fantasy has turned into a theory and it immediately becomes your goal. And when you turn your goal over to the universal subconscious mind, the laws of the universe kick in. And the first law, perpetual transmutation of energy, it takes over. And your goal starts to move into physical form with and through you. This beautiful goal that you've written down, this picture that you hold in your mind that's tugging at your heartstrings, it starts to get you excited, anticipating how you're going to feel. What would it look like? How do I feel now that that's true, now that that's my life? I'm going after it. And as I take steps toward my goal gets closer and closer. As I change just one thing I do every day, my behavior begins to change. And at the same time, the law of attraction calls to me all the things that are required for the manifestation of my image, the picture, the goal that I wrote down. And before long, your theory becomes a fact. There are 3 stages of creation: fantasy, theory, and fact. That's how everything has been accomplished. Action, reaction. What you do sends a ripple into the universe and causes effects in your life. You can as easily create a fantasy goal as a regular goal that you've accomplished earlier in your life. You just have to ask yourself, am I willing? Am I able? If what you wrote down on the paper is what you really, really, really want, you can see a clear picture in your mind, you're in love with this goal, then of course it's meant for you. This is just part of the creative process. Your emotional involvement with your goal will override your old beliefs, your old behaviors. Don't worry about how. Don't start thinking about blocking yourself, why it can't happen, and all the times you've tried before and it's never worked. Know in your heart that not only is it possible, as you focus on it, it becomes probable. As you spend time in the energy of this beautiful goal, it starts to move into form. You take it from a fantasy to a goal to a fact, just like everything else that has ever been invented. Flying airplanes, cell phones sending pictures magically through the invisible ether. How the clothes on your back were created, or the pictures on your wall, or the car that you're driving. Everything you see around you was once an idea that was conceived in the imagination. You start with your imagination. What do you want? What do you really, really, really want? How would your life change if this was your life? What does ideal look like for you? How do you want to be feeling? How loved, respected, grateful? What you've written down as a goal, give thanks for it. As a spiritual being, it's already on the spiritual plane. As an intellectual being, you've consciously decided what you want to create, what it looks like, what's meant for you, what do you want? And through your physical, the work of your hands, and staying in alignment with what it feels like, it must come into your physical experience. That's how the laws of the universe work. What you see in your mind, what you hold in your heart, the actions that you take, all form your life. See it in your mind, feel it in your heart, and start acting as if your goal has already been accomplished. And as you do that, everything falls into place so that it becomes your reality. Spend more time thinking and feeling as if you're already living your goal, and you will get inspired ideas. Take action on those ideas, and you will be living your goal. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Create a wonderful day. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.